Hello and welcome to the Suspects. It is Sunday, January. It's not January, it's February 22nd. I, I'm so over the Nancy Guthrie case and the obsession I have with it that I don't even know what day it is. How are
We've
you
we've
this
gotten
morning,
lost.
Gracie?
It's been a lovely weekend. It was 60 degrees here yesterday. It was sunny and beautiful. And then it's raining, and it's almost like even Mother Nature is crying because we haven't found Nancy Guthrie yet.
I
Um,
understand. I feel like
it's
I have to admit I have a problem. I even went out to dinner the other night. And so when I go out somewhere, I don't like look at my phone. I want to be, and I was with Maisie and I
yeah,
just want to be there. But literally, I started to get anxious because I didn't have any updates. Like obviously, if something was happening, I would have heard about it. But in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm behind now. What am I going to do? I don't know. So that's a problem. But
you
we have to
you
talk
know
about our glasses. We have secret X-ray glasses on today.
yeah. So these are our inspector glasses.
That's right.
We have decided that we're going to be doing a lot of analyzing on today's episode. We have gathered our research together and created a timeline, or I should say, Jen created a timeline, and
You made it look
we
good because Canva is a mystery to me.
I polish it up, but we put in the effort for you all today. We're going to go through the timeline. It's a bit of a doozy, the timeline, and so we thought to ourselves, we need to look our inspector
And then what
best.
are all the theories?
And
What
there's
There's so many.
so
And
many.
I actually want to do man on the street and women on the street interviews in my neighborhood because I know a lot of people in my walking community here. And so every day I pass them and we've been talking about it. And I'll say, okay, Alvin, what's your theory today? And he always has a different theory, which is the problem with this case. Everybody has a different theory every
It's
time you look
true.
at it.
And I think, what I think is you could do your version of man, woman on the street there, and I could do it here. I think yours would be better because Leo could walk up to them first and really, really lay down the law, make it like, all right, Jenny means business. What's your theory today? But that's the problem, is because there's not enough physical evidence for there to be two solid theories. It is so wide
Because you
open.
can go down, we'll go down the list. You go down the list with like 4 items, and
Uh-huh.
then you're talking to somebody and they're like, yes, but what about this? And you're like, oh, it doesn't really fit into my theory, which is why we're here and why everybody's obsessed with it. But back to the glasses, Gracie had on the blue light glasses. And I said, oh, are those regular glasses, reading glasses, whatever? She's like, blue light glasses. I get a headache from the computer. And I said, well,
Uh-huh.
I happen to have a pair and I pulled these out. So I think it's sort of kismet that we
You
both have
know,
these glasses.
our motto of we may be wrong, but we doubt it.
Yes.
I feel like these glasses really back that up.
Yes.
We
And
may
like,
be wrong.
if you're interviewing somebody, if you're ever like trying to get the truth out of them, you can sort
Uh-huh.
of be like really zero in. And these glasses would be somewhat imposing, I think.
I think so as well. I mean, I think the bridge, especially this
Mm-hmm.
line here that connects them, they're not the friendly Harry Potter glasses. They're not the freaking Queen Elizabeth little spectacles that she wears at the opera.
Although I can't walk
These
very far in these because these are reading glasses, so I can't see.
All right. So maybe we don't wear them to do physical activity and anything other than inspecting.
So I want to talk about before we start. So I'm in the fight of my life. I have this zit here, and I'm in the
Uh-huh.
fight of my life with the zit. It is been here coming in for a month. So I'm in an investigation as to what caused this, and it is really perplexing. So I thought, oh, I'm going to put one of those patches on because the girls
Uh-huh.
always wear them. Great, because
Uh-huh.
I always say put those on. And so we happen to have a huge pack from Costco. That's a whole nother story. And I took one out, put it on. Well, what it did is it made it look like it was a red, like measles mark. I took it off and Maisie said, "What happened to your face?" I said, "It's the zit patch." And she's like, "I think you're allergic to it." So it's gone up and down and I don't know, but here we are. And that's the fight of my life this week is this.
Do you want to know what though? Like I wouldn't have even I didn't know I don't even notice it. Like I know
Yeah,
you
whereas I
pointed it
feel
out.
like I'm going like this and there's a big Sharpie around it.
You feel like
Like,
your zit walks in the room before you
yeah, you're
do.
like, "Hello." And I'm going to an event tonight, a farm dinner, 70s theme, which is very
Ooh.
exciting.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "Well, at least it'll be dark there." So,
Listen, I have what I like to call strimples all over my face. They're stress pimples. Thank God for inspector glasses because they're literally hiding them underneath the big ass frames right now. But I wouldn't have even noticed it, honestly.
so
Like I
maybe
wouldn't
next
have.
time ski masks.
Next time, yeah, we're gonna wear. You know what we're gonna wear? We're gonna wear those same ski masks we saw in the Nancy Guthrie
Oh,
home video,
terrifying.
and
That was
I'm just gonna
terrifying.
walk around like that and be like, "Who am I?" And people are gonna be like, "The Nancy Guthrie kidnappers," and I'm be like, "Correct, correct."
All right. Well, let's start with our timeline first. So, let's see. Share screen. Okay. Why is this not coming up? All right. And our timeline was in preview, right? Where is it now?
While you're
Crazy
pulling that
file.
up,
Yes.
I will say that it was impressive how you put that together because as I was going through, I have a poster board that is back at the office because was careless on a Friday and forgot it there. So of course my boss is gonna walk in and be like, "What is this poster board?" And I'll be like, "Yikes, side project." No, but I have this poster board and I was going through and trying to put together like the timeline, and I did like when they found each piece of evidence underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dang, I don't even know how to untangle this because I feel like four things happened in one day, but they also didn't. They happened over like 2 days or 3 days. Very
Yeah, I went
confusing.
back through it. I had a list that I had written down, and then I went back through it. And then my favorite, Brian Enton, had a special last night where they rehashed some of it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Is that so? Is that the whole screen now? I guess. Why
I
is
can't see it.
that? Oh, add to stage.
There
There
we
we are.
go.
Oh, look at
There we
me.
go. There we go.
I'm telling you, this is the most challenging part of this whole thing. And I'm actually decent with tech stuff, but it's like this one program I looked at how you can share clips. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, forget it. I have to have
Yeah.
a master's in coding to do this,
They
and
just make it too hard.
that's
It's
not
not
a thing.
we can't have it this hard. We need to be able to just click share and it pops up.
All right, so here we are. Let's see what this does. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's even better. You like that
That
better?
is yeah, that's better, I think.
Okay. All right. So let's start with so we know first on January 31st, she had an Uber pickup
Mm-hmm.
in the evening, like at 5:30 or whatever time it was, went to Annie and Tommaso's house, which is Savannah's sister and brother-in-law. And then they brought her home, or he brought her home. We're not sure on that story yet. Sounds like he brought her home at and the garage opened at 9:48, closed at 9:50. I still have a problem with the 2 minutes. I feel like that's a very short period of time for somebody who's not able bodied to get in the garage and the garage door to close. But what do I know?
But also, even if he carried her in there, because that's another thing I've seen on Reddit is that he carried her in,
Okay.
which I was like, all right, maybe. But even if you're carrying someone, you still have it's not gonna it's not like you're gonna be able to do that in 2 minutes flat, and then you drop her in, and then you're out before the
But
garage closes.
query me this. If he had done something to her, which you will see in the end, I don't want to kill the surprise, but I don't think he's the one. Why, if you did something to her, why would you bring her back home to then bring her out again? That makes no sense.
No, it makes absolute zero sense. And I know our last episode we had been like, they look pretty suspicious.
Yes.
Because to be honest, I mean, some of their behavior is suspicious, and I had talked about this number of people after we had recorded our first episode, and I had said, I am not in their shoes. I've never been in their shoes. Thank God I've never been in their
Right.
shoes. But I feel like what I've seen from other cases and what I would do is I would be emotionally, I think, unstable, but I'd also take every opportunity I could to talk to the press,
Yeah, you'd
which
be
is
running around. You'd be down at the church having a candlelight vigil. You'd be like organizing your friends for a search party, which is we'll talk about
totally,
after as to why you can't do that now. Um,
totally.
so I don't, and you don't know what advice they're getting,
Yeah.
but it also just rings more suspicious because of who she is and her connections, but we don't know what
Mhm.
she's doing with her connections behind the scenes. So in any
Yeah.
event, he was the last person.
To
Garage
see her.
opens, garage closes. That's on Saturday night. Then in the
Hmm.
middle of the night, the camera goes offline, and then um there's a motion detected, and I forget what
Hmm.
the actual times were of that specifically. Do we
It said
have
around
those?
2 a.m. motion was
Okay.
detected. Hmm.
Okay. But they don't have any video of that. They're trying to extract that. And
Hmm.
then at 2:28, her pacemaker disconnects from her Apple Watch or phone.
So about a 30-minute chunk of time
Right.
where whoever they are in the house with her, and then
Right.
they get her out of the house.
But let me ask you this. This is a question. So if the camera picks up that guy, well, we don't know what time that video is of the guy, the masked
Mm-mm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming that that's the time it disconnects, was he already in the house somewhere and after went out to do that? So the video, like if that video is at 1:47,
Mm-hmm.
was he actually somewhere else already before that? He had already been in the house, and
I
was
mean,
coming around to take the camera because he's like, oh, wait, there's a camera. So it could be longer, but it's at
and
least, we think, 40 minutes
mm-hmm.
about.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different explanations in my mind for that, but we'll continue with our timeline just to rehash where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's blood found on the step. And then February 2nd is when February 1st is the Sunday. So that's the day when all this is happening. The family goes there. She's not there. They call the police come. And so February 2nd is when I heard about it first on the Today Show. The
Mm-hmm.
police have a press conference, and um then we find out that I don't know if it was that day that the blood was announced was hers. I think it was another day later.
I think it was another day later because remember we had talked about they had announced she was missing. They had said that it was already a crime scene, that she was forcibly taken from the home. Now, we don't
Right.
know when they said that, we don't know what they had already found and what they had not. I think, though, that they hadn't found the blood until after that because we would have gotten that reporting, I think, that same day. I
Well,
don't
let
think
me
we got
show
it that
you.
day.
I'll show you the first press conference.
Oh, God.
So
Sheriff Bumble is about to be on my screen.
let's see, remove, stop screen. Okay. I don't know how I have to keep the other one in backup to show.
Hmm.
I'm working on it. Sorry, everybody.
Listen, it's gonna be easier one
Window.
day.
Okay. So then we have these. Window. Okay.
So some disclaimers about Sheriff Bumbles. The Sheriff Bumbles, aka Sheriff Nanos, is quite a like a bear character is what I've been calling him, because he comes across very cuddly, aka he's not very hardcore in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he gives a press conference, it's like you're watching a fifth grader give a presentation.
Well, some of these, it actually changed my mind about how I think about a lot of stuff after watching all of this stuff in quick succession versus over 3 weeks. So this is him. Let's see, how do I start this? I got to go back here.
Wait, we don't have sound.
Is that no sound?
No sound.
That is going to be a twist.
You all heard it here first. The twist you didn't see coming. Our videos don't have sound.
I wonder.
That's right.
Why it doesn't have sound? Mute sound. Okay, let's see.
It may have to be a microphone thing where you switch the output of your microphone to be the video instead for a minute.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we're going to have to perfect this because that's going to be a problem, because I had all these lined up and it said you can just do this and go and share the screen. And then if I hit play,
it's very faint. Like I can sort of hear it, but it's very
faint. It's not. It's because it's like playing on my computer versus on here.
Yeah.
So
that's where it needs to change.
Let's see.
I mean,
volunteers.
No. Recap what we. Oh, go ahead.
So never mind. We're going to remove him. Go ahead.
I was going to say, to recap what we talked about last time about Sheriff Nanos, you know, we threw out the fact that he might be bumbling on purpose. So based off of what federal agents are telling him to do, professional hostage negotiators are telling him to do, they already might know where these people are. And, you know, he might be trying to mislead them and make them think that they don't have as much information as they might have. But also at this point, you know, it's been however long it's been, and they've said that they may not find Nancy for years, for months or years.
Right.
And that, reading that on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever that came out, months or years is a crazy thing to think about, especially in the world we live in today, where I feel like it is hard, unless you are incredibly intelligent and intentional in the way in which you commit a crime, because everyone can see everything now. There's no way of hiding.
Like, if you're tired of hiding your belly in photos.
I am tired of hiding my belly in photos. It's so true. I am tired of it.
So now if I go to this other one, it's very weird how it's now it has ads, whereas like on anything on YouTube, I don't have ads because I have a membership. So yeah, I don't know, because it says if I share it in Chrome, it will have sound. That's the problem.
So maybe we try that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying, but it's like
on February 23rd, we start Tai Chi for beginners over 50.
I don't know why.
Tai Chi.
All right, let's try this now. Everybody's a victim of our experimenting here. Let's see.
You know what? I think it's a privilege for everyone to just hear us figuring it out.
Share.
Hear our voices, so to speak.
Let's see. Add to stage. Okay, let's see.
Let's try.
Nancy Guthrie, I think we sent out a media release to all of you. Came to our attention, we got a 911 call that Ms. Guthrie was reported missing from her home. That call came in.
You can't hear it though, right?
Yeah, I can hear it faintly.
Our teams came out, our search and rescue
So
team,
weird.
being supported by our volunteers, from Search and Rescue Association, from PSAR, from the Border Patrol.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So I'm gonna
search and rescue dogs.
Yeah, but it's not good. Yeah. So I'm gonna mute him. That's a bummer. Because if you go to StreamYard, it has a whole thing about sharing, screen sharing with audio is only supported when sharing Chrome tabs, which that was. Oh, let's see if I do this. Let me try one more time. Add to stage.
I mean, we got sound, which is better than what we had the first time.
Remove. Okay. Stop screen. Share screen. I see. Okay. And it says also share tab audio. No, it's still like really faint. So we're going to have to figure that out. So we will go back to
The timeline.
The timeline, not him.
We'll figure this out for future for our listeners. And
I literally was working on this all day yesterday. So
we'll figure it out.
I had all the tabs ready to go, but it just wasn't, the sound wasn't coming up. So, all right.
I mean, Sheriff Nanos basically was the first press conference he gave was that, that she was taken forcefully from the home, that it was immediately deemed a crime scene, that they were doing everything and using all the resources. They had contacted the family, all the things a sheriff should say in the first press conference, essentially, because it was day one. Like,
right.
You can't say more on day one besides we've contacted the family. It's a crime scene. Da, 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 da.
Exactly. Okay. So then February 3rd, they say they have some DNA from inside the house. We get the first ransom letters. And then February 4th is the Instagram video. And there's follow-up searches.
So for those who don't know, Jenny, Instagram video. Talk to me about the Instagram video.
So the first Instagram video is, and I was going to share that, but that doesn't seem to be a thing that we can do today. So that was where you had all three siblings, Savannah, her sister and brother, sitting on a couch and seemingly reading a script that was given to them by somebody. The FBI or developed in terms of saying, trying to personalize her and calling her mom, mommy, etc., versus please just give her back.
And a lot of people after that video came out, I think the internet especially felt very divided on said video.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of could tell it was scripted. Obviously, if we will somehow next time or in the future show the video to people again, or if you haven't, we'd be more than happy to send out the link to anybody that asks us. But you can tell that it is very scripted, and people felt as though they could have said more, could have asked for more. And then I think a lot of people were then pushing back on that. The other half are pushing back and saying, well, you can't really do that because when you're being advised by people like FBI agents or whoever it may be, they're very strategic and intentional with the things that they have people say. And then people were also analyzing her sister, Savannah's sister, in the back. People felt like she was not as emotional or as invested. And there's been many body language experts that have come on and said that the way in which she was sitting, and I still don't, I obviously am not a body language expert, so I can't really speak to this too much. Felt like her body language looked as though she was guarded or that she was hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yes.
that kind of played out. Obviously, we'll talk about that a little bit more in the timeline. But the video was the first time where we heard Savannah speak, and honestly, you know, it was pretty soon for her to be speaking, especially publicly. I think a lot of other cases I've seen, like if we look historically back at like cases like, I mean, these were not necessarily kidnappings, but like John Benet Ramsey, for example, like her family didn't speak out publicly until a week or a week and a half after everything happened. Yeah. Which they had been working with the police, obviously, and the police had said that, but they did not say anything publicly for a week and a half, which is interesting. And I think that was because, again, you never know the methodology of a police department and how they want to play things, but I felt like she spoke very soon, but she's also a public figure. So you have that element.
Right. But I think it was because it was precipitated supposedly by the ransom note, right?
Mm-hmm. Which the ransom notes were interesting because TMZ got one. We love TMZ. I watch TMZ's videos when I want to learn about all my favorite celebrities and the dirt they're doing. But they got a ransom note. I think the radio station also got a ransom note, and then they were asked not to release it and to give it to the police first. And it was they asked for cryptocurrency, which, you know, every single guy I've talked to about this is like, cryptocurrency is untraceable. I'm like, okay.
Right. But I just think overall on all the ransom notes, like anybody that's a kidnapper, a legit kidnapper, wants to get the money and be done with it. They don't want the publicity that this gave you, and they wouldn't have waited that long. And they usually always say, at least in the movies and TV shows, don't contact the police. Right? So they already know the police are super involved. Like,
and I stand by what I said last episode, where I think this person probably does have a thing for Savannah, was probably rebuffed by Savannah at some point, whatever it may be. But I also think this person enjoys playing the game and enjoys the attention they're getting, has gotten the attention of people like the President of the United States. This person is not in it for just Savannah anymore and just Savannah's attention. They like toying with the American public now. That's also a piece of this now.
All right, let me see if I can let's see if we can stop screen. Share screen.
For the prayers for our beloved mom.
Yeah, that's good sound.
Nancy. We feel them.
Oops.
And we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love
So I'm just as riveted watching that now, and I've watched that maybe 10 times. And again, you hear in Savannah's voice, like she's holding back tears. And the brother chose not to speak for whatever reason, or maybe they thought that it was not a good idea for a man to be speaking to whoever it was.
Although he did do an Instagram post on his own.
He did his own. He did his free willy, as I like to call it. But you know, he chose not to speak, or they had him not speak in that video for whatever reason. The sister still, and we'll get to this, but still watching that, to me, and everybody processes things differently, but she seems so stoic and not as emotional as Savannah, and maybe that's just who she is as a person.
Right.
So I want to give her that benefit of the doubt. But I also just, I don't know. There's not that kind of.
But again, you don't know, like, if she's not used to, again, you don't know how people are going to react. So I sort of discount that at this point, but so a little bit. So the family Instagram video, then the FBI joins the search, $50,000 reward, February 6th, second ransom note. Nancy's car was that when Nancy's car was towed, or Annie's car?
Nancy's, I think.
Okay. Because I don't have.
Because Annie's car wasn't towed till later. A car was towed.
Yeah, no, I had that on the other. If you look at the other timeline, it was Nancy's car was towed on the 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the 7th, they have a video, all three again. Then there's night search activity at Annie's house, where they're in the night, they're taking pictures in the garage. They saw them come out with evidence bags. And then why don't you continue with the February 8th forward?
Yeah. So February 8th, This is right after the night search. They do a septic tank search. There are pictures that come out of them searching a septic tank. Don't really know a whole lot about that outside of the fact that they were poking around there.
But
February
why
9th,
wouldn't they do that earlier? That's just a question for later. Like
that, yeah. So we have a bunch of questions we'll go through later, but at this point they've decided to do it at February 8th, which
right.
again, why this late? February 9th, we get another public plea video. So this is 3 videos in the span of, I mean, my math is so off on a
4 days.
Sunday morning. Yeah, 4 days. So you basically have, if you want to average it out, about a video a day, basically.
Please help us.
February 10th, this is when the police release masked man images to the public. So these are images that they had gotten off of camera footage that they didn't think that they would ever get or have.
Right.
So this is when we all see all over our Instagram feeds, all over every single news outlet, CNN, Fox, New York Post, New York Times. We just see these guys, grainy footage, black and white, ski masks. Okay.
Mhm.
February 11th, tips start to be, oh, am I skipping a day? No, I'm not. February 11th, tips are received. This is kind of when, things obviously open up to the public a bit more. A tip line usually kind of opens the door to craziness, to public craziness. You know, we can talk through that some more. February 12th, that is when they decide the reward. They put up a reward for
It started out weirdly enough as $2,500. Then it went to $5,000, then it went to $50,000, and then it went to $100,000 on February 12th.
Right. So they've always had a reward per se, but I'm and I agree with this. I think the exact date of a legit reward is February 12th.
Right.
Nobody is going to come in with any information for $5,000.
Right. That doesn't make any sense.
Hate to break. But also that same day, February 12th, they also released the height of the suspect. There are a lot of things that can go into determining that, but basically video evidence, they use some sort of something.
Well, they went in with that measuring device and they put a tent in front of the front door. And I think they were like figuring out, okay, he was this high standing next to this point in the porch. And I think that's how they extrapolated that out.
Yeah, they do that based off the video. I mean, other agencies have used that before, federal agencies. Like I watched a documentary about the manhunt on Osama bin Laden, which you might be like, why are we going to terrorism? Just for the height thing, they determined that it was him based off of pictures and video they had overhead of his compound and his shadow. So there's a lot of different ways you can get a person's height based off video. February 13th, there is a night operation. Again, lots of night action in this.
Well, they grabbed the one guy driving, Carlos, who's a Uber, DoorDash or whatever driver, out of his car, took him, questioned him, and meanwhile searched his house that he lived in with his mother-in-law and, searched all the devices there. They let all of them go. And there was nothing more came of it. Although this guy, Carlos, looked like he could be one of the millions of men that look like the guy in the mask.
Right.
I mean,
and then on the same day, they had found a glove. And there was DNA inside that glove. They had tested said DNA, and the DNA came back. They tested against the family first, and the DNA was not a familial match.
That was the DNA from the house, though, not a glove.
Oh.
That was the DNA from they found DNA in the house. They haven't said what that was, but
I just gave something away.
Yeah, it's not a family match. And that was
Um,
the 15th was when that other glove was found within the 2-mile radius.
Right. So there has been some DNA in this case. I have mixed it up. My bad. But yeah, the DNA in the house was not a familial match, which
Or anybody close to her, which makes me think that they've tested the landscaper, the house cleaners, everybody.
yeah. Do you want to take the rest of the
Yep.
timeline?
Glove found on the 15th. The 16th, they said the family was cleared, even though they don't have a suspect. And all the experts, so-called experts, will tell you that how do you clear the family if you don't have a suspect? But they had a helicopter search with this sniffer device that supposedly can connect specifically with the address of her IP address of her pacemaker within 800 to 1,000 feet. They flew around, but I don't know why we don't do that originally, but I'm not running the investigation. February 17th, there's no match in CODIS, which is the system where criminals and people accused of crimes have their DNA placed, and there's no match there.
However,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
you go ahead.
You're going to say the same exact thing. I think that
But
what
they
I
can
just
do
said.
they can do a genealogical extrapolation, but that's a limited database as well, because unless when you go on 23andMe or Ancestry, you check off the box saying you can use my DNA for law enforcement, they can't use that database. There's 3 that they can use that are open. And there's one that they've started that where you can just go on and voluntarily submit your DNA, and it's just for crime solving cold cases. So, and they also mentioned with the DNA that for people of Hispanic heritage, it's harder to find a match genealogically because they don't have as much DNA in the database as people of North American or European descent, just because of how it's developed over time. So that makes it more challenging. February 18th, they say possible accomplice, which I don't think is a stretch because anybody's thinking, well, there could be somebody else. We don't have all the other cameras. How did they get her out of there? Because 150 pounds, is a lot to carry somebody out. And ostensibly, there were no footprints coming out of the house with any blood on them. So they must have been carrying her out. February 19th, he goes on, as my friend Zach Peter says, on his Taylor Swift Eras press tour because he's all over talking about everything in different ways instead of doing a press conference, which I have decided is because he doesn't want to be in a press conference with the FBI. Although, and people have been saying this, although I went back and their FBI guys are in some of the original press conferences.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. In fact, and I'll go through the rest of this and then I'll show you this picture from the first press conference. TMZ gets another letter. They say they're not going to talk about it anymore, but then they get another letter and they're talking about it. So TMZ does not keep its word. And then gloves with blood reported. They were found by this couple within a mile of the house. They were found on February 11th, actually, but it just came out in the news. On February 11th, they found them and they said they had what looked like blood on them and a bloody rock next to them. They called the tip line and the tip line said, oh, we don't really have anybody that can look into that right now. We'll get back to you. And so these people were like having none of it. They called 911. The police came out. But that's just sort of a tip of the iceberg of this investigation and what they've been doing or not doing. So that seems like, okay, somebody could have, a landscaper could have cut his hand and threw the glove out. Like, who knows if that's related to the crime? We don't know.
But it's important where the glove was found because it wasn't found in her backyard.
Correct. It was found
in the desert.
Right.
Which, a landscaper could have cut their hand and maybe they were, I don't know, out in the desert throwing away some cactus. I don't know. But it is hard to then be like, this could be, completely innocent and nothing to do with nothing. When it's found a mile from her home in the desert with a bloody rock, I think to myself, they probably hit her over the head with the rock, and I don't know,
They cut,
got a
but
little
that
messy.
they were in the supposedly in the house. So I don't know. But let me show you this. This is a picture. This is just a still shot from add to stage. These are the two FBI agents here. That the whole time he's speaking, they just look pained. So if you watch them,
I'm pained too, honestly.
look at their faces.
Yeah.
They're like, ugh.
I think they feel like how I feel, and I know people think that he's trying to do everything he can, and he's trying to do a great job. I feel pained when I listen to him. I am like, what are you talking about?
But he's making it more about himself. So let's talk about the like 3 things about Sheriff Nanos. So we know a lot about the scuttlebutt that's gone on, but the fact that he didn't call in the FBI sooner, although it was pretty quicker than I thought when I went back over the history.
Yeah, very quick.
But he won't do a press conference with everybody together. And that's because I think the FBI might contradict him or actually make him state factual things.
Yeah.
And he's taking things personally. He's crying, as we talked about last time, multiple times. I don't want the leader of the investigation crying. I'm sorry. And then of this week, when he was getting all the criticism, to quote Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate was one of his quotes. So, haters gonna hate. And the last thing that sort of puts the nail in his coffin is that he has a reality show. Do you know about this?
Oh,
Desert Law.
Do I know about this?
So,
of course,
it was already. It wasn't like he didn't sign up for it based on this, but he's the head of the department, so he had something to do with signing up for this reality show at some point. It's had 1 season. I don't know if they're going to get another season. And I guess he's not in the first season. We only watched 1 episode of the first season. So I don't know what's going to come of it. I'm going to watch the whole thing to see. But he knows something about it. So he pretends to be this like, I don't really know what's going on. I'm just a humble guy. And I don't know why everybody put so much stock in the words I say. Well, that's when you have a press conference. That's the point. You're saying words that people are supposed to take seriously.
This is why I call him a bumble, because he's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you are the sheriff of one of the biggest kidnapping cases in the past 60 years. And you are quite literally asking why people put so much stock in your word. I'm like, okay, this is like Jersey Shore, but like on legal crack. I'm like, you cannot be this dumb. Like, you really cannot be this stupid. And I agree with you. I think he won't do a press conference with the FBI because they're going to be like, get back on track. Or they're going to be like, stop crying. Or they're going to be like, that's not it. That's not the facts. I feel pained for those FBI agents. They deserve a long vacation after this case.
Yeah. And so by the numbers, just so you know, there's 400 personnel working on this. 400. I think they only have 400 people on staff in the sheriff's department for Pima County, which is the size of Rhode Island and Connecticut combined. So it's 9,000 square miles. I mean, that's incredible. They don't have,
insane.
And most of the homicide detectives, that's a whole nother show, but where Sheriff Guthrie has gotten into controversy with a lot of different people who have worked for him. He's fired people, transferred people, such that people in the detective squad only have like 3 years experience on average. And they don't get that many homicides there, which is great for them.
Totally great.
So this is just I put up a picture of the masked man photo at the door because that will go into what we're talking about after, where he takes the flowers and tries to put them on the camera, but some people think he's trying to take the camera down.
I just want to say something. That picture of them, like if I was ever like, I've had people take pictures of me like that where my eyes are glowing in the dark when like on one of those like, like Canon cameras.
Right.
I hope that he's embarrassed because it's not a good photo, even if he's masked.
Well, he has the flashlight thing in his mouth, which is a whole nother story. So the continuing on to what otherwise we know today is that they think they found DNA in the house, additional DNA. They went back, which I'm told is supposedly they go back and they retrace the steps that they think the perpetrator might have taken in the house and swab for additional DNA. So they did that. They found mixed DNA that's not related to anybody in the family, but that's at this Florida lab, which a lot of people are saying is very good and one of the top labs, and they're trying to extract it. And they're saying they're having a hard time extracting it, which experts say is because there may be too little of one or the other DNA. So if you have 10% male DNA and 90% female, the 10% of the male, it's going to be really hard to extract. Right. So, and then if you don't have any comparison samples, so if it's not Nancy's or somebody related to Nancy's and you know what it is, then it's going to be really hard to figure it out. But they're better at extracting it than the FBI is, I guess. And then the FBI can put it through CODIS. Yeah. According to this
doesn't that
expert.
feel backwards to you? It feels backwards to me that an independent lab is better at extracting DNA.
Yep. That's what
the FBI.
Yep, that's what it was this morning. They were talking about yeah, they were talking about the DNA and that they're better at extracting it than the FBI is. So I don't know that they're like, that's where they send a lot of stuff.
This case gets weirder and weirder. What do you mean an independent lab in Florida is better than the FBI? I don't even want the FBI handling my case now because are they going to be able to extract my DNA? I don't even know.
I that's what she was saying, that they're just better at extracting it. So
I mean, come on. Jen, we need to get on the ground in this. We need to just go to Arizona and solve this case because I'm over it. I don't even understand.
Yeah, that's what she's saying this morning. This is the woman that like helped solve the Brian Koberger thing. So let's jump to let's see. Let's jump to our matrix of what we think, what our guesses are.
Our theory bingo.
Yeah.
Our theory scoreboard.
Bingo.
You know.
Oh, you sent that to me in Word, right?
Yes. That was my last email to you before we started.
Okay. All right, let me go back.
The FBI can't extract DNA.
That's what she's saying. I'll go back and reconfirm that that's what she said.
I trust her too because the Brian Koberger case was so complicated and so difficult, and they extracted his DNA off like that sliver of a knife handle because he was a what's it called? He was a crime student, and so he was studying how to be a criminologist.
Right.
I mean, come on, I trust her. It's just shocking.
View 100%. Zoom.
Go down to the little bar at the bottom. It'll give you the size.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. So, all right. So we have no body found. Where does that go under?
So so we should go over all of the theories on the top first.
Yes.
So we have kidnapping, classic kidnapping. which, could
Would
be
be,
like,
okay, we're a group of people. We don't know this woman, but we know she's Savannah Guthrie's mother, or she has money, one or the other, and we're going to kidnap her and ask for money.
right. Then you have the random burglary or home invasion. Typical, you just want something, person's in the way. Oh, well. What are you gonna
So
do?
they decided they saw this lady that she must have money. Somebody worked there and they said to their brother, oh, she has money and she lives by herself. Or they were driving around and they saw this house and said, that's the place for us, which
Yeah.
I think is ridiculous. But anyways.
And then you have dispute with a known person. So that's somebody that Nancy knew, somebody that Savannah knew, somebody the family knew potentially. They had a disagreement, a falling out over something. Could have been
She
money.
found out the accountant, money manager's just been stealing her money. She's found out that one of the family members has been siphoning money out of her accounts because they go to the bank for her, something like that.
Yep. Dispute gone wrong.
Stalker for attention. Savannah stalker.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy. A lot of people think they're claiming that the Clintons did it because they're going to testify in the Epstein files, which I'm sorry, I choose not to go there, but I can't tell you how many times people have said that. So it's very interesting to me.
Listen, and honestly, the Epstein files are huge in the United States and around the world, quite frankly, right now. So I get it, but it's also like, you guys, come on. But I guess we have to go there for the purpose of being fair to every single theory.
Yes. Family person, known person, cover up. So they came in, they found that somebody they knew had a fight with her, whatever, caused her death in some way. And now this whole kidnapping, she's missing, is a ruse. And they actually know that she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And where she is, which I dispute that. And then revenge. Is somebody doing it for revenge, which ostensibly would be for one of the family members? Are they mad at somebody? And so they're like, screw you, we're going to do this and really hurt you. I find that weird because usually there's some sort of note that says, we did this.
Right.
We hope you're upset or whatever.
Right.
So no body found is obviously a kidnapping.
Could be a kidnapping.
Could be kidnapping. Random burglary, home invasion. That I'd say no, it doesn't get that.
No, because even if it was a random burglary home invasion, they wouldn't care necessarily about Nancy and Nancy's body. If they hurt her, they just kind of leave it. You know what I mean?
Dispute gone wrong with known person.
It could
maybe.
Be. I mean,
yeah, because maybe they freaked out and dragged her away.
Stalker
for attention. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why it's a small X there. Conspiracy Epstein. Sure. I don't know.
I can't take that one seriously. I'm sorry, but yeah, sure,
family known person cover up. Sure. So I feel like that goes to a lot of things, but when somebody said they're looking at it as a burglary, then that's a glaring thing right there.
Uh-huh.
Right on that one. And then last person to see her, the kidnapping doesn't make sense.
No.
Because why would he say he took her home? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right. I agree.
It wouldn't be related to that. Dispute gone wrong.
Yes.
Known person. Yes. No stalker. No conspiracy. Family person cover up because he got into an argument with her in the house. Revenge. Yes. Maybe. Yeah. Uh-huh. Forced entry. So there's no forced entry I think they've said there's forced entry, but then there's no evidence of it, right?
They somehow got into the house without having a key or anything. So that's technically forced entry because you're forcing your way into somebody's home because it's not yours.
Yeah, but I think unless they break the door, like if she had left the door open, I don't think that's forced entry. Or she let them in. I actually think that they could have gotten her to let them in. She got up and let them in. She might have thought like one of her children was there. Like it's a horrible thought, but
I mean, I think though, then if we're gonna talk about it that way, let's think about if they were already in the house.
If it were forced entry, Okay, go ahead.
I think if they were already in the house before she even got home, that's still forced entry. Even if they just opened a window that was already open and let themselves in, that's forcing themselves in. So I think
I don't think it technically is forced entry unless you've broken a lock or broken a window or used a crowbar on the door. I think if you're just open, if you walk in an open door, that's technically not forced entry. But we can leave this to future dispute. I think we need to look at that for future episodes. So the fact that we don't know about if there's a forced entry, I feel like that's sort of a red herring. I don't know that we can use that because we don't know either way. So let's use what we have. Blood on step could be a kidnapping, right?
Yep.
Random burglary. See, I would say no.
I don't think that burglary works for this case in general because there's no money that was taken. There was no valuables that were taken.
Dispute gone wrong with known person. They could have tried to drag her out. So yes. Stalker for attention. Yes. Epstein. Sure. Family known person cover up. I sort of feel like if that was the case, they wouldn't have left the blood on the step. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't be a thing. Like, wouldn't you be like...
But what if it was like all adrenaline based and they didn't even notice the blood because it's dark? I don't know. I feel like
if it's that big of a cover up, you got to put an X there.
I would. Let's leave a no X for now, but I could argue that there could be an X.
Revenge,
there.
Yes. DNA in house, yes. Could be kidnapping. Could be random, dispute gone wrong, stalker for attention. Could be any of these things, right?
Right. Yeah. I think DNA crosses all of them.
Ransom notes, kidnapping, obviously.
Duh.
Not that. Not stalker for attention, maybe. Yep. Conspiracy, I don't think so. Family known person cover up, yes, because they could be covering it up with the fake ransom notes.
Uh-huh. But then
Revenge?
that also, the covering up plays into the conspiracy one, though. What if they're just doing it to throw off the trail?
The conspiracy, Epstein?
I think it could be.
Okay. But it's not revenge. I don't think that's revenge.
No.
Because that would be, na. This is what we did.
Right.
Camera disabled. Yes. Kidnapping.
Yep.
Yes. Dispute gone wrong? See, I don't think so.
No, they wouldn't have cared about the camera.
Stalker for attention? Maybe. Conspiracy? Maybe. So there's a lot of like...
There's a lot of maybes.
Pacemaker disconnects. I don't think that the random burglary.
No.
Dispute gone wrong. I don't think.
No.
Stalker, yes.
Yeah.
Epstein's getting a lot of votes.
Damn it.
Family known person, I'd say no.
No, because they would know how important her pacemaker is to her.
And they'd keep the phone. They would want it so it wouldn't show it disconnected.
Right.
They would know about it.
Right.
Revenge, yes. Okay. Person detected on camera. I sort of think we'd leave that out because that could be, we don't know what that was, where it was, and what it shows. So I don't think we can use that. Nest cam video of masked man. Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
To clarify for people that don't know, the video of the man on the camera was from a couple days prior, or like a week or two prior to Nancy being kidnapped. Like this was like some random guy that was caught on her camera.
No, it wasn't. It was the night of.
No, there was. Oh, you're talking about that because there was a couple weeks before they also caught a guy on her camera in the daytime who was like fully dressed, like wasn't showing his
I'm
face.
talking about the guy on the camera, the masked man, the night of.
Got it. Okay.
The scary one that we just showed before. So the Nest cam. So random burglary, home invasion. Sure. Dispute gone wrong. I don't think so. With a known person. I don't think they're going to be on they're going to know there's a camera there. They're not going there. They're going to be in the back. They're going to already be in the house. They're not going to be on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you agree or no?
My only hesitation.
I'm bullying you on the X's. Did you notice?
I mean, the only hesitation I have And like this is where like theories run wild, right? But what if it was a known person, what if the entire point is to throw it off the trail of them thinking it was a known person and then acting like it was a random act or something, whatever?
But see, I
So
think
they
with
did
the
that on
dispute,
purpose.
I think that's more of a cover up. Dispute gone wrong with a known person is like, I'm mad at you. Give me that check. You told me you were going to give me that check. Or why'd you take me out of the will? And they push her and something bad happens. That's what I
Yeah.
think is more of that. I think the family known person cover up would involve more things after the fact, like, you know, making it look like a kidnapping.
I guess. I think I agree with that. I think that like the reality is my personal view on those two theories is they basically just took one element of the dispute, like the cover up theory, like by a known person, and then they just split it into like, oh, it could have also been a dispute too, but like dispute is part of the cover up. So it should be one in my brain. But
say,
yeah, for the purposes of this, we'll
you'll
say
give
that
it
it
to
doesn't
me.
apply. Yeah.
And I'm looking back up at ransom notes, stalker for attention. See, I don't think would a stalker for attention actually give a ransom note.
No, they write notes
So
to
I think
Savannah.
that would be. I'm going to take that out.
Yeah, they write notes to Savannah, I think.
So then, and there might be. We don't know what they've found in her correspondence, threats to her, whatever. Right?
Right.
We don't know
Right.
that. So the masked man goes back to stalker for attention. Could be, right?
Could be.
The masked man, conspiracy, Epstein, sure. Family known person cover up? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
And revenge? Yes. Right?
I think so.
Revenge is sort of like, I feel like an outlier. We could almost get rid of it because it's too general. Because any of these things could be revenge. Backpack, I think, sort of goes with the masked man thing. I don't think we need to. That's evidence, and there's a separate line of investigation, but I don't think so. Right. So gloves found within 2 miles of the house with blood on rock.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a kidnapping. The kidnapper threw it out of the car, right?
I don't think it's invasion. I think we skip invasion.
Yep. Dispute gone wrong? I think no.
No, I don't agree with that. I think
stalker.
Yes.
Conspiracy, sure. Conspiracy is just like family known person cover up. I think no. Because if you're really doing a cover up, you're not throwing your gloves out.
Yeah, you're not that sloppy about it. I would hope.
Revenge?
No.
I don't know.
Think it applies.
I hate I'm starting to hate the revenge column. Ring shown under gloves. They showed that they could see a ring, and there's a neighbor that has the exact ring.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. So there's a guy that's been interviewed a couple of times. He has this, I think it's on his second finger actually. And it's like a flat, like signet ring.
Yeah.
And you can see through the gloves on the guy on the video that he has a flat signet ring. And this guy has a ring on the same hand. And he says he's a neighbor, but he lives 15 minutes away. And he's been interviewed by different reporters several times. So internet has gone sus on him.
Uh-huh.
So he could be the kidnapper coming back, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they've checked him out by now. Random burglary, no. Dispute gone wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Stalker for attention, maybe?
Yeah.
Epstein conspiracy people are not coming back to the scene of the crime?
No.
Family? No, because he's not, the family doesn't know him. Revenge? Right. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No CODIS match on house and first glove.
I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, I think the no CODIS match thing, I think is another thing like the backpack or the masked man where like, I don't know if that really applies to anything in particular. Because I think it could apply to all of these theories.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that it's like, I think we leave that one too.
Yep. Okay. Genealogy research, we don't have anything yet. So I think we leave that. So if we go back through, I think the kidnapping and stalker have the most, right? 1, 2,
they have the
3,
same amount.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right?
Yep. And kidnapping, I think stalker is the most as well. Kidnapping.
Yep, I think kidnapping has the most, then stalker, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for conspiracy, Epstein conspiracy.
God, I like hate that, but it makes sense.
I just I don't believe that. I mean, anything's
No.
possible in 2026 with everything's going on, but I was in Connecticut the day this was announced on the Today Show. I came down from upstairs in the townhouse. Andy was watching the Today Show, and I walked in, and they had the banner saying, Savannah Guthrie's mom missing.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what? I thought it was like a joke. I didn't like what was going on.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said, it's a stalker.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I said. And after going over all the evidence for today's podcast and like looking at different interviews and things, that to me actually makes the most sense of anything.
Yeah.
Because I'll make my case, then you make your case. My
right.
case is not a true kidnapping because of the ransom note delay. They've never given proof of life. They haven't really tried to collect money. Like, it was far after the fact that they communicated, and it's been different avenues of communication. So I don't think that. Random burglary, I don't think it's a random burglary. I don't think she had, unless she had like gold bars in her house we weren't aware of, like I don't know why she would be the target of a random burglar.
Yeah.
It is in a sequestered part of town. It's really remote. I've been to Tucson, and like I've never been to her neighborhood, obviously, but there are very remote places. It's like the Wild West out there in some regards, outside of the city, and super dark. Known person dispute. I just don't know why they would take the body, or if they did, I don't think they would go that far, and I think they would have found her already.
Yeah.
Stalker, you heard my conspiracy, Jeffrey Epstein, etc. I just feel like that's so far-fetched. I can't go there.
The only reason they're saying that is because there was a report that came out. I think I first saw it on the Post, New York Post, where I guess Savannah Guthrie originally, this was like back, like before the Epstein, like Epstein was like arrested. I think it was what, like 2019? No, 2017 or whatever it was. She was about to like break the story on the Today Show, I guess.
Yeah, but there's been so many other reporters.
It's not like
it's not like a movie where you have the reporter that had the secret notebook. They were the only one with the story, and if they got rid of that person, nobody was ever going to know about the story.
Right.
I mean, it's everywhere. They've released all these documents, so I just find that preposterous. Yes, they may want to distract from what's going on, but I feel like there's better ways to distract than this.
There is. And I think people are still interested in the Epstein case, even if her mom is missing. So I don't know if
yes,
that works. Can I tell you my theory?
Yes, go ahead.
So I agree with you. I think it is a stalker. I think it's a stalker kidnapping combo. And I'm going to explain. I do think that this person is obsessed or was stalking Savannah or her mom for whatever reasons, probably obsessed with Savannah, whatever it may be. I think it's turned into a classic kidnapping in the sense that they've done these ransom notes kind of deal for attention, but they haven't collected anything, to your point. I think that, and this is kind of crazy, and I had mentioned this to you, I think that this stalker is, in their own demented way, recreating a game that Savannah played with her cousins when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about this in her book. And I'm going to read an excerpt from it, and I'll explain. So her book is called Mostly What God Does, Reflections on Seeking and Finding His Love Everywhere. It was released in 2024. So pretty recently, like not super, but recently. So in this book, She describes going to visit her cousins in Phoenix. She said that her cousin was 20 years older than her at the time, so she seemed like an aunt to her more so than a cousin. And she was closer with this cousin's 3 children instead, Paige, Charlie, and Holly. So I don't know what you would call the children of your cousin, I guess. They're like
second cousins,
second
I
cousins.
think, or they're
sure.
first cousins once removed. I forget which it is, but go ahead.
Yeah. So in this book, and I'm going to read quotes from it, it says, about once a year in the summertime, Cousin Terry orchestrated a, quote, kidnapping of my sister and me. So then she goes on to explain how the situation would play out, saying the cousins would visit for a few days at our house in Tucson, and then on the morning they were to leave, Terry would wake us up early, shushing us in the pre-dawn darkness as we made our escape. We would all pile into her rickety station wagon and head north. Savannah recalls calling her mother from a payphone during one of those so-called, quote, kidnappings, writing, Mom, Cousin Terry kidnapped us to take us to her house. She said her mother would pretend to be shocked for promising to drive up and get them a few days later. So my theory is kind of out there and crazy.
It's Cousin Terry? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think it's Cousin Terry. I think that'd be extremely fucked up if Terry, and Terry sounds like she's kind of old. So I don't know if it's Terry.
She's like the CEO of like a big national food company now too.
Yeah. So I don't think she's kidnapping Savannah's mom. But what I do think is that this person who was obsessed with Savannah obviously read her book, because if you're obsessed with somebody, you're going to read their book. And then I don't know, again, what happened. Something probably happened to trigger this, but probably was stalking the mom for a while, kind of figured out her patterns, her house, whatever. You kind of have to do that in order to kind of enter the way that you did, or what have it. And then is probably scary enough to say to Savannah's mother, like, we're going to play the game your daughter used to play with you. I'm going to kidnap you. But like, it's actually a kidnapping. Except she wasn't allowed to like call Savannah from a payphone and be like, we've been kidnapped, you know?
So how was she bleeding?
How is she bleeding?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure potentially, maybe at some point, Savannah's mom potentially was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to go with you. And I'm saying this in a very like, you know,
right.
of borderline.
It would be
way.
crazier. Yes.
It'd be a little bit crazier. And I think that maybe this said person in their own delusion was offended that she did not want to play said game that Savannah wanted to play when she was younger. She wanted to be in Savannah's shoes. I think said person was offended, probably knocked her a little bit, maybe hit her in the face, punched her in the nose, punched something that caused her to bleed or something. And then was like, we're going to play the game. And I think at that point, Savannah's mom was probably like, okay, I guess I have to go along with this.
Or it was the stalker inspired by reading that, as well as in conjunction with the November 2025 Savannah Going Home series on the Today Show, where she went back home. They filmed her in Arizona. They didn't show her mother's house.
No.
But they said her mother and her sister lived there, and they went to a local restaurant, and her mother was on there predominantly displayed on the Today Show on this piece where she spoke about. So anybody that didn't know where her mother lived certainly did then. There's also been some Google searches. There's Google Trends that shows people were searching for her address and Savannah's salary, but Google has come out to say Google Trends can show a spike if one person searches it and then the next time 2 people search it. It has not, it's not like necessarily a spike. They're not tied to all the same IP addresses, but they may be looking into that because that's sort of weird. And they were using IP addresses out of Oregon, but that can be fake. You can use a VPN to pretend you're somewhere else or not.
Right.
So I'm going with stalker. You're going with a little bit of a twist on the stalker.
Yes.
So that actually gives me hope that they could find her. I know
Yes.
that may be irrational and naive at this point, but Sheriff Nano said one day he's in it for days, weeks, months. It could take years. And then the next week, he said, I think she's still alive.
Yeah.
So are they planning on rescuing her when she's 95? I'm not sure.
They're gonna wait till her 100th birthday, and then they're gonna say, "We got you, girl."
And I
We
do
got you.
know the two things that we agree on, Gracie, is 3 thumbs down on Sheriff Nanos. I know he's been
Really?
thrust into the spotlight, and I'm sure maybe he's a nice man. I don't know, but ineffective.
Yeah, Sheriff Bumbles is his name now. We don't like Sheriff Bumbles.
Or,
and his.
two people I listen to, Zach Peters calls him Sheriff Nanananos. And then Donna Bowling calls him Sheriff Bananos. So,
because he's bananas.
and I think when you're leading that kind of serious investigation, you're open to criticism. It's
Yeah,
fair
you have to
game.
be.
We're not
Yeah.
criticizing somebody on the sidelines. We're not criticizing one of the victims, one of the family members. We're criticizing the guy that's supposed to have all these resources and be in charge of the safety of 9,000 square miles. So
Yeah.
he's got to man up, and I think stop crying, stop giving all these stupid interviews where he's taking things personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. He needs to make it not about himself, and he needs to make it about the Guthrie family. And he needs to share the spotlight with those 2 pained FBI agents in the back. Give it up for the FBI, people. Even though they can't extract DNA, they can be in a press conference.
So before we go, because we'll do an update on this, but I wanted to add, remove stop screen. Swear to God, I'm going to have this better next time. I am going to share this is a Florida update.
Oh, lovely. Which ones?
So, Florida woman charged after refusing to leave cruise ship because vacation wasn't over. Now, I couldn't
love
find
her.
any more news stories specifically like telling like what happened. Like, they called and said she won't get off. She screamed. They carried her out. I didn't get all the details. But when searching this headline, this surprisingly happens more than you would think.
Yeah.
And
because
all
why
in
would you
Florida.
wanna get off?
Nobody wants to get off.
Nobody wants to get off because guess what? You've paid for like your food, your drinks at that point. You paid for your room.
Who
you're
knows
set
what
to
she was
go.
going back to?
You know what she's going back to? She's going back to her margarita by the cruise ship pool, and she's going to do the YMCA dance at noon. That's what she's going back to, and I love that for her.
Let me show you the other one. Let's see. This is the other Florida. I don't know why it keeps showing me that every time. Share. Add to stage. So, a husband and wife were arrested after starting a fight at a country club. This is over pickleball that left people injured. They were playing pickleball with another couple when things got heated at their Florida country club. And I read this, there was a verbal altercation because there's in pickleball, the front of the court is known as the kitchen, and you can only hit certain shots in the kitchen, and they were violating that rule. And there's a video, I couldn't find it, and of course the video isn't playing correctly now anyways, but where there is like everybody was piling onto it. So you have all these people my age that are like in this brawl at a pickleball court at a country club. And then let's see, I'll show you the one last one from.
There's nothing like bougie country club people getting in a fight over pickleball at a country club. Nothing like it. That is a fight I would have wanted to see.
Let's see, where am I? Share window.
People get aggressive about the kitchen though. Like Dallas and I play pickleball.
Yes.
And they get aggressive. They're like you better get out of the kitchen unless you're going to do this. And I'm like, we saw this last time. And let me tell you, I still stand by what I said. I love a good chicken tender and a good chicken nugget. And I wouldn't necessarily ride a gator to get my chicken tender or chicken nugget. But if I had to, I would choose a beast to ride through to get chicken nuggets.
So this says Florida man arrested for riding alligator through Wendy's drive-thru demanding chicken nuggets.
Yep.
He was taken into custody after riding an alligator through a drive-thru demanding chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Stunned employees watched as the man pulled up on the reptile and attempted to place an order, apparently believing the drive-thru accepted both cash and reptiles. Officers arrived shortly after and shut down the scene before the alligator could reach the pickup window.
Here's my thing.
No employees were injured and the alligator was safely removed. Witnesses say the suspect appeared confused when told this was not acceptable behavior, even by Florida standards.
He looks confused in his mugshot. Of course he's confused that he can't ride a gator through a drive-through.
It went viral online with people saying how this wasn't the first red flag, and wondering if the alligator also wanted a combo meal. Police did not confirm whether nuggets were ever prepared.
Okay, first of all, the fact that people want to know if nuggets were actually prepared is crazy. I, though, want to know how he tamed an alligator to ride it.
I don't know. There's guys down here that's what they do. They wrangle alligators. My neighbor had one in her pool, and they had to come and the big steel pole with the thing on the end.
Yeah,
because she doesn't have a screen. We have a screen around ours, but she doesn't. Right. And so she went out, and there was actually a gator in her swimming pool. Can you imagine?
No,
and they had to come. All these guys had to come. It was the focus of the cul-de-sac for many weeks.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Is she now going to put a fence around her pool?
No, she seems unfazed. I would be terrified.
What? Are you kidding me? Does she have dogs?
Yeah. I don't know where it came from because she doesn't live. I guess she lives down the path from a pond, but I've seen them walking by my house, so I don't want them in the pool.
No, God.
I don't want to open the door to go out in the lanai and be like, hello.
Yeah, no. And my whole thing is if you have dogs too, you are just asking. You're basically giving the gator their version of a chicken nugget in a dog form. You're like, let me just give you my pets for you to eat.
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't want that for your neighbor. Tell her to put a lanai up. Do a screen, do something. No. Absolutely not.
Well, I think this was a rough yet valiant start. So I may
through the kinks.
Yes, I'm going to share the videos because the videos really show a great story with Sheriff Nanos. So we're working on it, and we will be back. No matter what you think or what you want, we will be back.
And even if you think we're wrong, we're probably right.
Correct. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right.